Thank you, Andrea. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Hanson Bridgett, for hosting this wonderful event. It's so lovely to be here with so many wonderful friends and outstanding women's bar leaders, dignitaries, and to get a chance to introduce you to IANGEL, the International Action Network for Gender Equity and Law, and to tell you how this organization was born. So let me ask you, how many of you are appalled or angry when you read about injustice and gender bias here or in other places in the world? And how many of you have ever gone to a program or a presentation and learned about some terrible injustice and it made you want to do something about it? But at the end of the program, everybody just packed up and left, and then you went back to your office and you were never asked to help. Has that ever happened? The challenges and obstacles faced by women and girls here and abroad are many, and they are serious, ranging from a relentless assault on reproductive rights, unequal pay, unequal rights to own property or inherit property, sexual harassment, sex trafficking and slavery, female genital mutilation, dowry killings, and on and on. And how many of you have ever given money to organizations that are working to address any of these issues? And how many of you have ever felt, I am more than a checkbook? I have skills. I can do things. But your skills were not asked for. And it was as if your skills were not needed. And how many of you have ever felt or wished that you had an opportunity to use your skills as lawyers to fight for justice anywhere in the world? Well, I did too. I'm just like you. I would go to these programs and I would think, let me help, sign me up. I have skills. I'm a lawyer, I can write, I can advocate. And I know people. I can connect with others. Let me help. But there was no way to do that. I would just get an envelope pre-addressed and stamped on my check. And it occurred to me, what if we could harness the power of volunteer lawyers and apply it to these organizations? Think how much stronger they could be. They could do more with less. They could take on issues that they otherwise didn't have the resources to address. They could develop a more effective or comprehensive strategy. And not only that, but it would help them with their fundraising goals, because I know for a fact that when people are engaged directly in a cause, they are more generous to it. But it's hard for organizations to do this. They don't know how. They don't know how to use skilled volunteers. There's no mechanism for using lawyers, volunteer lawyers in their programs. So I thought, we have to harness this power that we have, and we have to help the organizations working on gender bias issues to effectively use the power that we can create. We have to do this. The other side, the side of oppression and injustice, is entrenched, well organized, and well funded. We can't afford to waste any resources in this cause. We have to knit together our network. We have to connect and collaborate across borders. Lawyers, bar associations, law firms. We have to do this. And when I thought thought of this. I mentioned it to friends of mine a few years ago, probably at an NCWBA summit. And people said, yeah, this is a good idea. Someone should do this. Frankly, I really wish someone had. It's not easy to do. But since no one had, and since it's important, I felt, if not me, who? We'll give it a try. So the problem was, of course, I am a real estate and commercial litigation lawyer, and organizing a nonprofit is not exactly something within my skill set. So the first step was to take this idea to my firm, Hanson Bridgett, and to ask them to support me in this endeavor. And I am so grateful that they agreed to do so, even though they may have thought I was half crazy for the endeavor. And from there, I had resources. Leslie Kyle, an outstanding corporate lawyer here, helped with formation documents. And then I recruited a fabulous board, willing to give their time and their energy to this idea. And we formed IANGEL on March 15th of this year. Good job. And some of our board members and our executive director are here, and I'm delighted to introduce them. My friend and neighbor, Adrian Jacobs-Miller, avid Wordsworth friend Claire,
yes,
past president of Queen's Bench and past chair of virtually every committee they have.
yes.
Mary Wolverton from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, past president of the NCWBA, a true inspiration, trial lawyer, power woman, founding mother of the Wisconsin Women Lawyers. Our new executive director, Krishanti Dharmaraj, with over 20 years experience in international human rights work. Our other directors who could not be here this evening, but are with us in spirit, our treasurer, Jana Dubakova, is a Slovakian immigrant, women's rights activist, and co-chair of Queen's Bench Education Committee. Rebecca Hooley is our secretary, past president of Queen's Bench, also involved in international human rights in Guatemala. And last but not least, my friend and inspiration from Nigeria, Chief Mrs. Stella Odife, the founder of the Women's Organization for Gender Issues in Nigeria. So we are a truly international board. And IANGEL exists in part to expand the boundaries of traditional notions of pro bono work. Realizing that lawyers and their skills can be useful to affect progressive social change far beyond the limits of the jurisdiction in which they are licensed to practice. For instance, I am not admitted to practice law in Bangladesh. No surprise. But I can readily appreciate the injustice of their laws that prohibit women from owning or inheriting property, leaving them with no address that they can call their own. And I can collaborate across borders and develop a strategy with the Bangladesh National Women Lawyers Association to try to bring about enough pressure to create the reforms of their laws that they so badly need. And I'm delighted to report that just a couple of weeks ago, in fact, the Bangladesh National Women Lawyers Association agreed to partner with IANGEL for this purpose. Good job. And on the local front, IANGEL, in its first assignment, has already procured hundreds of hours of free legal assistance for equal rights advocates right here in San Francisco to help ERA with its work promoting gender equity in employment. One of those volunteer lawyers is here, Emily. Yay, Emily. She's part of the ERA team. So in addition to developing our partners and our friends, since we formed, we have been very hard at work on our infrastructure. And I'm delighted to announce that our website is now up. We just, we're finishing 40 minutes ago. It was touch and go there, but the website is up. So, but unlike so many programs where you've been to where you're just going to hear about something and say, yeah, that's great, and then the energy just dissipates into the wind. No, that's not going to happen now, because I have an ask for you. If you believe in women's rights, right? Everybody does, right? In this crowd, of course. And in the power of connection, and in the notion that each of us has an obligation to do whatever she can to promote fairness and justice in the world, we need your help. And there are many ways you can help us. Go to our website, www.iangel.org, and sign up under Join Us. Lawyers, law firms, bar associations. Join our network. Connect with us. If you represent a women's bar, we have these wonderful cards. We would like you to put this in your newsletter. Tell people about us. This card has everything you need for your newsletter. It's very handy. Like us on Facebook. I don't even know how to do Facebook. But I know my daughter says she'll tell us. We're going to get there. You know, I'm going to get a lesson in tweeting before mine. So, yeah, blogging, tweeting, everything. So, and if you're really inspired by this idea and feel like you want to take a leadership role, let me know that specifically, because we're going to be forming teams and committees, and we need inspired and dedicated and capable leaders like all of you in this room. So let me know that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Let's work together for justice all around.